Like I remember a few years ago, it was a family that lost a kid because of gun violence, and they were, I know the family.
Those are a series of meetings that we have started, and we have 15 different categories.
This is what we need, I think, is very productive way to get involved in the community.
I don't want to do this anymore. We're trying to offer lower barriers to escape that. I hope that we hear from community organizations not only as a funder, but also as a partner.
It's really, heartbreaking for the community.
Yes.
It boils our blood, and we don't want to.
I think the challenge is there's just never enough people to cover every single place.
What kind of community can do, whether it is calling our city council to say support the office.
We had a young lady from Somalia who had a son who had got killed.
Welcome back to our episode 21. Today we have a special guest, one of a good friend of mine, James, the new director of Office of Violence Prevention. James, welcome to our podcast. There's a lot of people who's going to listen to this podcast and watch, and they want to learn who you are and why you choose what you're doing. So please welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So who is James? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, it's a long story, but really volunteering and being public service has been something that's been important to me since I was a child. I started volunteering with nonprofits when I was 13. It's always been something that's been very important to me. So, I think, I see that this latest job is just another thing that I can do to help the community that I live in. It's very important to me and always has been.
Well, are you from Louisville or are you out of town? Are you from here?
So I grew up in Florida, in Pasco County, and once I left for college, I lived in Gainesville for 11 years, and there I actually got a bachelor's in history starting out. So I was actually looking into kind of going into academia. That was always a big interest of mine. But then as I worked and I got more experience, and especially the finance side of things as well, I found that maybe the best use of my skills was going into public service for public finance and grants management, things like that. There was something where I wanted to be as useful as possible. So if that was helping organizations get the resources they need to do the work that they need to do, I felt that was probably the best use of the knowledge that I had. And that's something that I've continued to do over time.
Wow, that's awesome. And this is, that it shows who you are today, because the work you put it in is who you are today and what you have today. And that shows a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, I did just want to say as well, that's what I see in this current position, because previously I was the Assistant Director of Administration for OVP, previously Ocean. It's the same thing that I've always been doing. I'm trying to give the people who work for OVP the resources they need to then help people. So that's a thing where it's truly like, administration, like making sure that, their paychecks are there, making sure that they have vehicles, making sure that they have food that they need to give the community, making sure that they have the training that they need to be as effective as possible. So it's really supporting that mission I see as my primary job.
Thank you. And the first time I met you, I believe in energy. There's a good energy I felt about you, and I believe everybody feels the same. And we look up to our leaders, and in my faith as well, it says no matter who's your leader, you have to be compliant with them and work with them, and this is the belief I have it as a young man, is believe who is leading you, and the God, that's what the Quran says, is believing in who is already in, whether it's mayor, whether it's a director of office, whether it's the governor. They are our leaders, and we need to comply with them and see how we can contribute to the better way. So my question is the office OVP, Office of Violence Prevention, it already says what it is just by saying it. I like that.
Yes, it's very clear.
Yeah, and tell us what's the role and the mission of this office that you are the new permanent director, correct?
Yes. Okay. As of just about 3 weeks ago, that was set out, which, of course, I'm grateful to my leader, the mayor, for giving me that opportunity to continue on with the work that we were doing. And I think that's important to know as well. OVP is taking on the entirety of Ocean's mission and adding to that. It's expanding what we were doing in Ocean. And I think that's reflected not only in the Mayor's Safe Louisville plan that he put in place, but also the additional funding that Metro Council gave us in this most recent fiscal year.
Okay.
I think that they really believe in that mission. They believe in the expanding the programs that we know work. and making sure that we're focusing on those things. So that is, I mean, we're sticking to our original missions of intervention and prevention. Those are the two things. So we're trying to stop violence before it starts, and we are trying to help people heal after that occurs as well through our TRC program. But yes, addressing violence on every level is our main mission.
That's great. I mean, you know, I tell this story to everybody. You know, when I was growing up, I was in a refugee camp. You know, so there was a billboard right in front of our house, big billboard. You know, I still remember it. It says, "Prevention is better than cure." What about that? How do you believe in your prevention and you as a leader?
So the goal lined up in the Save Louisville plan is a 30% reduction every year.
Okay.
Which is it's a 15% reduction every year. Currently, I believe we're at a 39% reduction in gun violence. It needs to be zero, and we are always going to strive towards perfection. And my perfect goal is my office would be involved in prevention because there would be no violence that needs to be intervened in. That is the most important part to start out with. We want to make sure that people have the opportunities to change their lives, to make different decisions, to have the option of going a different way before they ever get to a point where they pick up a gun or before they point it at someone or before they shoot somebody. That is absolutely the most important part to start out with. Now, we have additional resources after that because there always has to be something in place for somebody who has gone down that path. And additionally, there needs to be resources for people who have lost somebody. We need to be there in all those ways.
Thank you for that. And also, you know, you mentioned you are appointed by the mayor. So, and the mayor's top priority is public safety. Talk about that a little bit. Why is his priority public safety?
Well, when we refer to the people that we serve in OVP, it's the residents of Louisville, whether they are our clients or whether they are people who reside in neighborhoods we're working in, but we're there for the residents. And I think in particular as well, whether they are citizens of the country, whether they are from Louisville, wherever they're from, people all deserve to live a long, safe, happy life.
Correct.
And we are trying to put that in place for everybody. We want people to feel safe when they go out in their neighborhood. We want them to feel safe wherever they are.
Correct.
Whether it's downtown, whether it's going to the store, whether they're in a park, or whether they're at a recreation center, anywhere. We want to make sure that they feel that they can do what they want. And they have that freedom of movement. They have the freedom to live their lives as they choose.
That's great. And even, you know, as a new Kentuckians in Louisville, that's who I usually advocate for and give them information. So when they are new to the city and they get here, because when you came as a refugee or come from immigrant, you came from a war zone, like violence. Like I'm a child of a Civil War product. You know, my family, I was born in a war. But our goal was only one. My father told me is to have a peace. We get out of that country, we have to migrate to another country, and then we have to wait for 15 years to get resettled to the U.S. So that all these years we're looking at safety. And it's not only me, it's more than thousands of people in South End who are in the same history or the same, process they've been through, and they have that goal. So how do we help them understand that they are coming to a city where is violence prevention is the top priority, or safety? How we go about that? How do we reach out to them and let them know that we're here for them?
Yeah. Well, and, I want to say on a personal level, I'm grateful that people choose the city to move to,
Correct.
Whether they are from another state of the United States, another country, any reason why they come here. And I want to
Correct.
make sure that gratitude is shown by trying to make this the safest place as possible. I don't want anybody to have a fear of that.
Correct.
So I think that in addition to that, where we have a lot of focuses on neighborhoods and things like that, these are some of the neighborhoods that have the most need, but all of our services are open to anybody who needs them. That is equal and equitable across whoever needs that. If somebody calls us and says, I have trauma, I have lost a family member, I've witnessed something, or it's just something that bothers me, we have resources for that. So I do want people to know that, call us, please, and we'll make sure that, our phone number and, our email address is out there. We have resources for people, and that is equally applied to anybody who needs that, no matter where they are in Jefferson County. And that includes, of course, new Louisvillians and new Kentuckians and new Americans.
Thank you for that. And how does the office collect feedbacks and from the community?
Oh, of course.
Okay. And how do you do about how can people, give a feedback or give their voice? How do they do that?
The most direct way, I think, is by calling that number, sending us an email. That's something that is, and we all have our cards on us, and that's something where you don't have to go through a channel. If you have a phone number, you call us, and we'll make sure you get to the right place.
And we're gonna put the number down here, so you'll see that number, like says up here, is what you call. And so, James,
I did want to add into that because that's one way.
Okay.
But we actually have a lot of things set up for this as well.
Okay.
Because we also have a very important thing is our anti-violence coalitions. Now, currently we have 9 of them. We're setting up a 10th in the California neighborhood.
Okay.
And that's also utilizing funds the Metro Council has authorized for us this year and told me specifically, use this for an anti-violence coalition in California. Those are places where all the residents from that neighborhood get together. We have a facilitator who meets with them and works for our office. They tell us what the problems are in their neighborhood, and then we help them develop ideas to address that. Whether it often takes the form of grants that we give to community organizations filling a gap. Maybe it's childcare. Maybe it's a program for children to do after school before their parents get off of work. Correct. Or sometimes it can also be a sports league, that we fund. So that's a direct way where the people in the communities that need that support the most, they tell us what the problem is, and we say, hey, these things could help solve that. Let's work together for that. And then the third way I do want to talk about is our landscape, the violence reduction landscape.
Okay.
Those are a series of meetings that we have started, and we have 15 different categories. If you, as an individual or an organization or a business or a government department, whatever it is, if you are interested or involved in violence reduction in any way, there's a meeting for you. And you are welcome in any one of those. We'll make sure you get those too. Each of the 15 categories is meeting once per quarter, but we're doing all of them. So it's practically there's a meeting a week for the next year. And those are hosted in our office. Bring people in, and that's a place for all the organizations who are involved, all the individuals to talk with each other, to share their ideas, to share data. If they have an idea for collaboration, it's an open space for that. And what we're trying to provide there as well is technical assistance. If you need a letter of support from us, if you've worked with us before, if you need data analysis support, if you have a great program and you have this data but you're not sure how to do that or how to put it into a federal grant for application, we can help you with that. So this is a place for people to share ideas, share what they're doing, and then also to get whatever help we can provide.
Correct. That's great. I mean, in my experience too, what you said, I saw it, and thank you for your office for doing this. Like I remember a few years ago, it was a family that lost a kid because of gun violence, and they were, I know the family, but they needed help on grieving. I saw that so I called, Nanette, and she sent someone, and she came by herself too and support the family. And that's what I know, that we have people who care about us, even it was a weekend, and show up, and still supporting. And that shows the dedication of the resources that we have. It's not only information, but we have people who are actually coming your door. But also, what for the new Americans that we usually talk to, what are the root cause of the gun violence in Louisville or in America in general, James, in your idea?
There are a lot of factors in that. And, even today, we had heard some opinions on things, a lack of resources, a lack of opportunity can be a big part of that.
Correct.
When, it can even be something as simple as if kids don't have enough activities to take up their time. If they're, if both parents are working, they get out of school at 2 p.m. and then they don't have something to fill those hours. There can be a lot of things that can go wrong, or they can just, if they're unsupervised, they can get themselves in trouble. There can be a lot of things where if people don't have the opportunity for a job, or if they don't have opportunities for education to pursue the line of work that they want to do, they can be trapped in a situation where they feel that they can't do anything else, or they may be beholden to someone else and then have to do that. So that's actually a lot of our programming, our intervention, and our Pivot to Peace program.
Correct.
Those are reaching out to people who may have gotten to that point through whatever means, maybe it's a lack of opportunity, maybe it's getting into something when you're younger, then you age and you think, I don't want to do this anymore. We're trying to offer lowered barriers to escape that, to say, what do you need? Do you need a safer place to be? Do you need educational opportunities? Let's help you work on your resume. It's case management. So that's something where we're reaching out to people who are in need of that. And these are people who are at the greatest risk of being victims of gun violence, but also perpetuating gun violence. We're trying to stop that before that occurs.
Correct.
And that is that high-risk intervention work.
High risk. Thank you. I agree with you, but the point of lack of resources, I myself been in this job for 12 years, like the South End, it is lack of resources, and I can be witness for that. And like we never had a summer program for the last couple of years, but this year we had a summer program that has close to 200 students sign up for it in this neighborhood. And we're seeing the need because they didn't have nothing to do. So they were coming and participating, whether it was this, soccer game, whether it was psychoeducation, where TRC and NET were providing these kids resources about, what is mental health, basic things, because they were never told these things before. These are new Kentuckians. They just been here less than 5 years and they're learning about this thing.
Yes.
So bringing resources to the communities, I think, is one of the root causes, but also community has to do their side. I believe in not one branch can do everything. It's small pieces put together, right?
I agree, and actually on that point as well, I mean it's something we talk about a lot in our office, and the American Rescue Plan Act funding.
Okay.
We were able to distribute almost $30 million over a series of 3 years to over 300 organizations. That funding is coming to an end in November of 2026.
Okay.
Most of those things have already ramped up. That's another reason why we tried to develop this landscape and providing technical assistance, because I think my office, where previously we had the great ability to be a funder, now we are going to transition into being more of a partner. And we're trying to give the resources that we can. Now, we still are able to give grants, and we still are able to, even the not only the SAMHSA grants that Nanette is over for the mental health services, but we also have our Get Busy grant application that closes August 20th. So we still have the ability to give those, but it's not going to be at the scale that we did previously. So I do think you're right that I hope that we hear from community organizations, and not only as a funder, but also as a partner. If you have an idea, if you have something you need help with, please reach out to us. I mean, we'd be more than happy to be there with you. We work in many different ways, not just in a monetary fashion.
That is, I agree on that. But my question to you is, are you helping? Are you putting your help to the mayor's budget on putting more funds to the organizations who are grassroots, who are doing the job? Are you also advocating for that?
Absolutely, and that's part of it too. Is a lot of times when we meet with organizations or we utilize our relationships with community organizations, because of course, in our staff as well, I mean, there's more than 55 people who have deep roots and connections to the communities we serve and to Louisville as a whole. They know a lot of people that are in these spaces. And when somebody says, hey, we have a great program, or when an employee says, hey, I think that this group would be really good to work with, we bring them in, we can help them develop a great program, and then we can help fund it as well. So it's not only a thing where we say, well, here's some money, good luck. We're also helping them develop metrics. We're helping them develop a plan for that, so that, and this is part of the sustainability. We want them to be able to take that program to anybody and say, this is a great idea. And I think one of the most needed things, especially for grassroots organizations, is, the ideas and the actual activities, great. Sometimes there's you have to be able to put that together into a proposal and show it to an organization and say, we're doing great, and this is the proof of it. Come be our partner. So that's something else that we really try to help everybody with.
Right. And So when it comes to that, some people believe that it's policies that is making us, not get out of this violence prevention or get a violent issues. So what is your input on, about the policies that is happening, whether it is state level or city level?
That one I might have to defer to my boss,
Okay.
the mayor's executive director of community safety. They are absolutely, looking at advocacy, what laws that they would like to pursue on that level. I know the mayor has his strategy as well, so which I believe is publicly available. So I think that's something that we can definitely provide a link to if people want to see what they're pursuing on that level.
Great. And what are the success stories that your office has done so far that people in the community want to know? Any success stories that you want to share that OVP done so far?
I mean, the most inspiring thing that happens the most often really is, our clients through our intervention. These are things where I can't share a lot of details on that, but, we have, I believe we are hiring our 10th outreach worker this week or next week when they start. Each one of our existing outreach workers has between 20, 28 clients. So these are, a large number of people who are going through this program, succeeding, and this is all voluntary.
Okay.
You must voluntarily accept these.
Yes.
So these are not people who have been forced into this whatsoever. So that's just a huge part of, that's also our largest division, is our outreach program as well.
program.
So seeing the people go through that engagement where they're building trust with one of our outreach caseworkers,
Okay.
going through their the program and getting those resources and then graduating from that and then moving on with their lives, getting out of that. I mean, that's a constant thing that I see that is inspiring to me on a daily basis. There's so many other success stories as well. I mean, even in a reaction towards homicide or violence, seeing Nanette and her team, and our mental health specialist that we actually contract through Maryhurst going out and helping people. I mean, seeing somebody being comforted with that,
Correct.
and that's something where, in response to the incident at the Chestnut YMCA in 11th yesterday.
Yes.
I was out there for many hours along with many, many OVP personnel yesterday, back today, again, and checking in with that right before we left to here. I spoke with one of the managers there, trying to ask her if there was anything else that we needed to do, and she said no. Specifically, those mental health workers that you have here, not only are they helping the YMCA staff, but also any people that are in the neighborhood that want to come by and talk to somebody that's open. The YMCA opened their doors as well and gave us a spot to do that.
Right.
And going in and seeing that and seeing people get help for what they need, I think is extremely powerful to me on a personal level.
That's really good stories to share, and I really thank you for that. But for yesterday, the incident, what happened? It's really heartbreaking for the community.
Yes.
It boils our our blood, and we don't want anybody to experience that.
Yes.
So we learn when incidents happen, we have to learn from it. And one thing I was saying is, what are we doing from that on to this type of stuff doesn't happen again? The incident, like the shooting, happened for the mother who was bystander.
There's two main pathways to that.
Okay.
The first part is we develop all of our programs through best practices. We take lessons that other cities have learned and what people in this city in the past have learned, and we apply that. We try to make sure that every program we have is provably effective. And that's something where we are concentrating all of our resources on the programs that we know work. And at the same time, I think it's important to take in, to listen, and to learn. And that's where the community engagement side comes in with the anti-violence coalitions, with the landscape, with just the ability to talk to somebody directly. We need to learn about the changing landscape, and we're always open to that. So that's something where we are applying the lessons that we know work, but I'm always open to learning new things as well.
Many things. Yes, and also, James, I'm a big believer on connection. The office, like how you guys came to our community, meet us, talk to us, sit with us. Tomorrow we will have a lunch together. This is what we need. I think is very productive way to get involved in the community. What is your plan on that? Are you doing it every neighborhood to do the same thing?
Yes, Yes, we have resources that we deploy in every neighborhood. Our anti-violence coalitions meet multiple times a month. In fact, along with those as well, we're trying to transition that into more of a community feeling as well. Even having food available for people, so that if they're in a time crunch, that if you're getting off of work, you're picking up your kids, but you want to be involved in this
Correct.
anti-violence coalition, come on over and we have some food for you as well. You don't have to try and fit that in. So trying to lower the barrier of people engaging in these things too, because people live busy lives, and you can still be concerned about things going on in your neighborhood, but you might not have the time, the wherewithal, to participate in those things. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. And that's two ways: providing a space where people can go to, and reaching out, like we did with you and your community as well.
Yes, reach out.
Making sure that we're doing things like our community sanctuary project, which is that's both prevention and intervention, and trying to heal.
Correct.
We have engagements which are reacting. We have engagements which are proactive. We contact a community who may be in need, and we want to show up, and we have food, we have our mental health services, we have faith resources, and we want to show people that they can feel safe in the public areas that they're around. The violence is the abnormality. We're trying to show people that every day they should be able to go out and enjoy the space that they live in. Now, we also have our activations, which is in response to a homicide. We do the same thing in those cases, but we want to show up. We want to make sure that people who have been affected by it, just like at the YMCA in the 11th.
Right.
11th. We're having one this Saturday. We're having not only an engagement with your community tomorrow, Friday.
Right.
We're having an activation at the YMCA Saturday after that.
Wow.
So that's going to be a place where we can make sure that the community comes and receives those services. They're already available at the YMCA, but we're also going to put a larger thing together there as well.
Correct. Because I believe some communities believe that they're invisible, but when they see people who are coming to their community, talk to them and meet where they're at, because most of our programs, what we do, even we don't expect them to come here.
Yes.
We go meet to their apartments, to their neighborhoods, talk to them, to the prayer, mosque, shopping centers. And I think that what I recommend for any office or any public office to do that, to go out and meet the people where they're at, because people are busy trying to make ends meet. Yes.
Yeah, well, and I do want to say on that as well, I really appreciate you, because even inviting us here, the relationship that you formed with our office and with the people that work there, including myself, and then you recording this, you putting that out in multiple languages, you helping us to connect to those communities, you're a very important link in that. And I hope that, as many people with your wherewithal and your connections can help us do that as well. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you for that. And you guys can hear, make sure anywhere possible you can help this office, please reach out to them or reach out to me, and I'll make the connection. What are the challenges, James, that your office faces? What challenges do you think that the community can do something about it that you guys are facing, or in general?
Engagement. Please.
Okay.
Read the newsletters, read our social media posts, and the same thing, if you can amplify that. If you see something, put it out there, share that. Come to our events.
Correct.
Come to our anti-violence coalitions. Support us. Contact us. If you have a great idea, please reach out to us. Engaging with us is the best part. Seeing people showing up, we try and show up. I think the challenge is there's just never enough people to cover every single place. But the more community members we get to show up, we may only be about 55 people, but the pastor himself with the CSP activations, Community Sanctuary Project, has served 7,000 people over the last year and a half. That is amplifying the effect of all of our programs, and it has to.
It has to be. What are the resources and funding that your office needs to be fully, accomplish the things that you want to accomplish? What can the community can do, whether it is calling our city council to say support the office, or what are you recommending to people in the community to do?
I do have to say I really appreciate Metro Council's belief in our systems.
Okay.
This was, we did get a substantial increase in our funding, and specifically for programs that I advocated for.
Great.
In our budget hearing,
Great.
Those were things where they said, what do you need? And I said, these are the things that I need. And then I laid it out, and that's what they gave us. So I really appreciate that. Now there's always, I mean, next budget season, it's every year. And, it really starts in January. So that's something where if people have ideas, you can also contact your council member and say, I have an idea for violence prevention. I want you to push for this.
Correct.
There are many things where, and this is also a public document, the ordinance where I'm obligated to fund things, there could be things included in that as well.
Okay.
So there's many different ways people can engage, not only with our office, but especially my call to action is please show up at our events. Come out, see us, utilize our services. We can't help somebody if they don't say yes when they need something. Correct. So that's the number one thing. But if you can advocate with your council member, all of them have my phone number. I talk to them. They email me when they need things, so that's a direct way to get to us as well. And please just believe that when you need something and you reach out, I hope that people feel heard. And if they don't, please try again. But that's something that you can try multiple people. It's not something that don't feel discouraged with that, but come out, come see us, talk to us in person, call us on the phone, anything. Engage with us.
Awesome. Thank you for that. But I want to add one more last question is, I experienced in the last few years or many years, some parents will come to us and say, my teen, it's going through this problem. Maybe has a guns, and I want help.
Yes.
And I know the Stacy program where they, you file with the judge and the judge can take an action. But that process is very complicated. I tried myself a couple times. It's only one person in that office you can call, and sometimes it takes days to get a response. How can we show the community that even if your child needs help and you can't do nothing about it, how can we support those families?
Contacting us, especially our outreach team. Now that's something where not only are they talking directly to your child, and we're trying to make that the mechanism of change for that outreach program is, first of all, a lowered barrier. That's something where we're trying to make it easy to call us, easy to get contact with that person, and when they talk to you or your child, making it easy to say yes. It's not a thing where they're trying to force them into something they don't want to do. They want to make sure that if you want to change, they can help. Now, in addition to that, even if the child says no or if the parent says no, we can also connect you with organizations that help with that. Legal Aid is one of them, and we've worked with them for years.
Okay.
So not only do we have resources that can help you in those cases, there's also expungement programs. So if there's somebody who has been convicted of a crime and they have that on their record, there are resources that we can put them through. We have a whole reentry project specifically helping people who are coming out of prison to try and come back in and not fall back into a lifestyle that would put them there in the first place. So we have a lot of things going on at that time. So give us a call, and we can always refer you to other places, even if there's not something we can do directly. But we'll never give you a phone number and say, don't call me again.
Great.
We're always open.
Awesome. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning so much from you today. And I hope so people who are listening to this podcast and watching learn from it and take notes. It's not going to be the last time you're going to be here or the first time you're going to show up more. We'll have more conversations about different topics. But I want to say, James, thank you for what you're doing, and keep what you do. We are here for you as a community, and we're here to support your work. Let's come back to Pastor Hudson. Thank you. You the man that making all the connection. I appreciate it for what you're doing. Talk a little bit about your who you are a little bit, and talk about the Community Sanctuary Project, because this is something that most people in our community don't know about it. Can you talk about that and see?
Well, I am Superintendent Nathan Horton, which would be Pastor Horton. I am a superintendent of the A.T. Moore Memorial District of the Church of God in Christ. I oversee 7 churches. And a few years ago, Community Sanctuary Project was put in place. If you remember, at first it was called Safe Haven. And we realized that Safe Haven was what they were using when they was dropping off babies at the medical places. So we changed the name to Community Sanctuary Project. And our goal was to make this a spiritual initiative.
Correct.
And so we started reaching out to pastors in the community, mosques. We started reaching out because what we wanted to do with this was to make sure that we would allow the community to realize that Community Sanctuary Project, at that time Ocean, but now Office of Violence Prevention, cared about even the spiritual part that was going on in the community.
Right.
So we were to partner up with different churches and different mosques. So when something happened, an engagement, you may have had a few homicides, and we come in maybe 2 or 3 months later because we didn't act on it right then and there. So we come to you to do an engagement, just like on tomorrow.
Correct.
Yeah, to come in to do an engagement, to let you know we care, or an activation as we're doing within 72 hours or 48 hours, what we're doing on Saturday. So our goal was to bring the spiritual part, to bring the community together, let them know that that church or that mosque in your community cared, which came from the Office of Violence Prevention, and that we cared, and we provide the resources for grief counseling as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Last year you called me when my mosque, there was 3 teens who were shot.
Yes.
You know, one of them died on the spot, and you reach out to me and say, Farhan, what can we do? You know, what do you need? We can come out, and that itself has changed my mood, because someone calling and say, what can you do for your mosque? It was really good, and I hope you do that for many mosques and many communities and many synagogues, churches, all that, because when people get shocked, they don't know what to do. They freeze sometimes, and when you reach out to them, it will change a lot of things. But we'll give you the contact of the mosques or you know, places that we go. We'll share that with you, and you reach out to the imams. You know, go visit if you want to visit. We can go together. But because faith is a place for safety, right? It's a safe place for us.
One of the questions you had asked James about success,
Yes.
and going back to Community Sanctuary Project, is whereas we had a young lady from Somali who had a son who had got killed, had a daughter, and the daughter had been attacked in the house. She was fearful of coming forth to be able to sit down and talk, to get what she was dealing with, the trauma in her daughter. So we was able to provide Nanette at this event and she was able to sit down and talk with Lynette about what all she had been through and what she was up against. And it really helped her. So she came back the next night to talk about how much she had got help and how good she felt about being able to trust somebody with what she was saying. So that's one of the successes come from Community Sanctuary Project, as well as Office of Violence Prevention. So I wanted to stress that because it was really uplifting to see that.
Yeah, because people in the community sometimes they just want listen, like somebody just to listen to the issues. And thank you for that. What do you expect the community, like, or people who are listening, what is your takeaway from you, on our listeners? What should they take away from you?
Basically, James covered it all. But from Community Sanctuary Project, what I would say to take from Office of Violence Prevention, first of all, we thank the mayor for getting involved and wanting to see this go forth, and his directors. But we also thank James who has really put his heart into it. We have Joshua to make sure everything is getting out. So I want them to know that we are here. You can reach out to us. Even if you don't deal with gun violence, you may be dealing with some trauma. You may be dealing with something that you faced, and you just need somebody to talk to. They have you as the spiritual, or we can point them in direction, and also we can get them some help dealing with grief. So I want them to understand the Community Sanctuary Project is concerned about what goes on in the community when it deals with violence.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Pastor Hudson. Appreciate it. James, last word, last takeaway for our community members from you as a director of OVP office.
Again, I want to see everybody that I can. I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be, seeing you more often. I want to meet members of the community.
Right.
I can't wait. I appreciate everyone showing up, and I appreciate you being here in the first place. And that's something where I want to make sure that if there are any ideas, any fears, anything I can address, I want to be there for you.
Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you share with others. Make sure you like, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, James.